What should we talk about? Do you know, we hardly discussed Italy, a team that had gone through the next round, conceding 0, that they've won 11 consecutive games, conceding 0, scoring 32 in the process. It's 30 games unbeaten, and they're doing it in a way that, despite those defensive stats, is quite pleasing to the eye. What has happened? What has Roberto Mancini done? It's time to have a coffee and talk about Italy.
Oh my God.
Yesterday we had a really good time, a 2-hour show on 5 Live with the crew of the Euro Leagues podcast. Now we call the Euro Daily. And one of the many things that we spoke about was Italy. Italy deserves to be given context. When Giampiero Ventura fails with the side to qualify for the World Cup 2018 in the playoffs against Sweden, at that point everybody's head just blew up. It was like, what's going on here? They look back and they realize that they hadn't come out of the group stages in the previous 2 World Cups. And yes, they were in a European Championship final, but the impression was that things had to change. He was given the opportunity to Mancini to change the side. And the first thing he said was that he wanted a team that played like children, that were enthusiastic, wanting the ball constantly, wanting to play the ball but recover it as well, and they follow that enthusiasm on the pitch and off the pitch. That's very brave for a national side manager, because as Adam Bate, in a great article as always in Sky Sports News, points out, when the approach with a national side in a tournament like this tends to be conservative, and most teams are conservative. Is it down to the quality of the manager, or is it down to the fact that they are playing the tournament, a tournament in which conceding gets punished greatly? He points out that Mancini have won more titles in big leagues than any of the other managers, national managers in the European Championships put together. That's a little bit unfair, because Joachim Löw has won the World Cup, the Shams have won the World Cup and the European Championships, and of course Luis Enrique won the triple crown, the league, the Cup and the Champions League with Barcelona. But I see his point. What he's trying to say is that, is it a lack of time or lack of quality of managers that produces this conservative football? He also, Adam, points out to the fact that when Gareth Southgate was asked about the fullbacks and how they're not going forward very often, he pointed out, Gareth, that he was following the trend, especially France. He could have added Portugal as well. The last 2 winners of tournaments have been quite conservative. And the Shams continues doing the same thing. A lot of people behind the ball, no risking a lot and hoping for players up front to make the difference, exactly as England are doing. The Shams is not a bad manager, he's just playing the tournament. Gareth Southgate, we don't know what he's like at club level, but certainly he has seen how to win a tournament and is following that trend. So why is Mancini different? Because of how he feels football, how he lives football. He decided to play a lot of youngsters from the beginning of his stay. Chiesa, Donnarumma, Barella. So he's mixed these youngsters with the veterans, Bonucci, Chiellini, the 2 centre-backs, Berratti, of course, plus the fact that a lot of these players have played together since they were 15, 16 with the national side, and that Mancini has created an atmosphere of friendship, of working for each other outside the pitch as well. There's a clear example in Belotti and Immobile fighting for a place in the lineup, but sharing the same room, for instance. That atmosphere certainly helps, and the results are here. 10 victories in 10 qualifying matches, 3 victories so far in the competition in the European Championships. The football is attractive, it's offensive, it's brave, a lot of players in front of the ball. The problem I see is that in small competitions, as I said earlier, you get punished for the mistakes. And the trend tends to be for those that take decisions, knowing that there is so many people watching, knowing the importance of the national side for so many, the first reaction is of fear, of not trust talent, of just making sure that you have to limit the amount of mistakes you make, instead of, like Mancini has done, just go for it. Tell them to actually be the best you can be. Tell them to actually enjoy what they are doing. That balance has to do, of course, with expectations, as I'm saying, with your quality as a manager. You trust what you've done in the past, and by giving just to telling you've won titles, that's what Mancini will tell you, while other managers feel, I'm not so sure, I better just put the brakes on. It's also an attitude of in life. What's the worst that can happen, some will say, if we actually become brave and have fun with what we're doing, and we're sharing time with people we like, with good people too. Put all that together, and what you generally have is perhaps not the winners, but a moment in time in football in which that can become memorable. People will remember this Italy. Remember, only one team can win, and if you actually approach everything very conservative, and if you don't win, people will have a go at you. Which one do you prefer? A lot of it has to do with what those managers see outside the world. In England, it's basically get us a result, get us far. It doesn't matter how you do it. So then you get the national side that you deserve in a way. In Italy, it was like that until somebody came and said, let's have fun. And that's what Italy are doing. Would that be enough to win it? Not so sure about that.